Hi everybody, it's Doreen, and I'm back today with the anniversary card that I made for my husband for our 4th wedding anniversary to go along with the gift that I made. As you can see, this is my card, and there's a little trick to this card. This card is an easel card. So it folds out like so, and then you have the easel portion of the card. But then there's also another little trick to the card. It is a spinning card. So come on and join me, and I'm going to show you how I made this card. Okay everybody, so I'm going to go ahead and bring up my supplies so we can get started making the card. Now I got this card idea from another YouTuber whose YouTube channel is Sharon's Scrappy Space, and I'll put the link to her video on how she made her card somewhere up here in the video. Now Sharon used the measurements by using her, I believe she's a Stampin' Up dealer, and she used her Stampin' Up circle, what's it called? It was her circle cutter. But I decided, I do have the circle cutter, but I wanted to try doing this using my Cricut and my Gypsy. So what I've gone ahead and done is actually created a file to go ahead and cut everything out using the Cricut. So now the front of the card measures 5 inches by, actually I'm sorry, it's 10 inches by 5, and then I've taken it and went ahead and scored it to make it a 5 by 5 card. Now on the Cricut, I went ahead and I cut it out using my Georgian Basic Shape cartridge, and I went ahead and cut out a square, and I made it the real dowel size, which would make it 5 inches in the height and 10 inches in the width, and it looks like this. And then what I went ahead and did was I cut out a circle, or I placed a circle inside, and I made the circle 3 3/4 by 3 3/4, and I once again used the real dial size, and I put my circle in the middle, and then I just went ahead and cut this all out as one. And then because I wanted to have a different front piece on the front, I just went ahead and cut another square with the circle inside, and I welded this all together. And my square measures, let's see, 4 3/4 by 4 3/4, and once again I used the real dowel size. And then I also went ahead and put a circle measuring 3 3/4 by 3 3/4, and I placed that inside the square, and then just went ahead and welded it all together. Now this took me some time to do this because I had never tried doing anything like this before, so I had to get my husband to help me with a little math so that I could make sure that I got it in the center. So now what that would look like if you were not going to use your Cricut to cut this, you would just go ahead and cut you a piece of cardstock that measures 5 inches by 10 inches, and then go ahead and score that in half. And then what you want to do is you want to make sure that you get your circle, that your circle is 3 3/4 by 3 3/4. And you can use your circle cutter, or you could use a circle spellbinder's die to get that. And then you would do the same thing for your top layer. You would go ahead and cut you a square that measures 4 3/4 by 4 3/4, and then go ahead and make your circle 3 3/4 by 3 3/4, because in essence what you're trying to do is you want to go ahead and lay this on top and just have just a small faint edge across here. So that would be the front of the card. So before we go ahead and tape everything down to the front of the card, I want to go ahead and set up my spinning couple. So now what I've done to cut this out is I used the, let's see which cartridge this was. The couple is from the Sweethearts cartridge. So what I went ahead and did was I cut out, and this is the Sweetheart, and that would be key number 35, and I cut out the blackout, so you would hit your blackout key and then key 35, so it looks like that, and that is cut at 2.5 inches. And then I also went ahead and cut out the shadow, so you would hit your shadow button and then key 35 again. So I went ahead and cut out 2 of each one of those, and the couple in your handbook is on page 66. So you have the shadow and then the blackout. And if I didn't say, this is from the Sweethearts cartridge. So I also went ahead and took them and ran them through my Cutterbug folder, the Swiss Dots, which is, I've said before, is one of my favorites. And then I went ahead also and cut out from the Lacy Labels. I cut out the flower, is what it's saying that it is on the handbook. And that is key number 49, and it looks like this. And they're calling this flower 9. So let's go to that cartridge. And it's key 49, so it looks like this. So I went ahead and I cut that out at 3¼ inches. And then once I've cut it out, I went ahead and ran it through my Cutterbug folder, and I believe this is the Victorian folder. It's kind of hard to see with the glare. So I ran it through with that, and then I went ahead and inked my edges using the Tim Holtz Distressing, and this is the Gathered Twigs. So now what we want to do is we want to go ahead and get our fishing line. Well, actually Sharon used fishing line, and I'm using what is called illusion cord, and I use this sometime for my beading projects. It looks like this, or monofilament illusion cord is what it's called, and it looks like this. So now it may be hard to see it on the camera, but it kind of looks like that. So what I've gone ahead and done is I've gotten some sticky tape and put it on the back, because we want to go ahead and peel that sticky tape off so that we can go ahead and put the illusion cord in between there. So I'm going to go ahead and peel up my illusion cord, my tape backing, and then I'm going to add my illusion cord. And I just cut one big long piece. I didn't measure, I just cut it because I figured I can go ahead and cut it off once I've got it on the card properly. So now it's laying there, and I'm going to go ahead and take my Tombow adhesive and get some tape on the back of here all the way around. And I've also got another piece of the sticky back tape in the middle, just so I can go ahead and make sure that that illusion cord is really going to stick, because we want the card to be able to, the couple to be able to twirl. The other thing I want to make sure is that I don't have them going upside down. So I have them going right side up. And I think I'm going to go ahead and put some tape around here as well, because I want this to really stick. So now that I've got my tape on there, and we need it to really stick at the top too. So I probably should have cut me a longer piece of the sticky tape. So now we can go ahead and line up and then place this down like so. So now I have my illusion cord going like so. And there's my couple. So now what we want to do is we're going to go ahead and start putting the card together. So I'm going to put the couple aside, and then we're going to go ahead and start preparing the front of the card. So I've also got some sticky tape on each side here on my card, and then I've also put some on my top layer. Now my top layer measures 4 3/4 by 4 3/4. And I'm not going to just pull that off just yet. I want to go ahead and lay this down so I can line it up, make sure it's okay. And I've also gone ahead and inked the edges on this as well using the Tim Holtz Distress Ink. And it's the Gathered Twigs is what it's called. So now what I'm going to go ahead and do is I'm just going to go ahead and put some tape just on this side for right now, just until I get I want to make sure I get this lined up correctly. And I'm going to lay it down just on that one side for now. Now what I want to go ahead and do is add my couple. So I'm going to go ahead and line them up in the center. Make sure I have it lined up where I want it. And I do, and it's centered. And you don't have to be exact about this because, as I said before, I don't like measuring, so I kind of just eyeball a lot of my cards and things that I do. So I think that's where I want it to lay. So I'm going to go ahead and peel off the sticky back tape layer on the one side, and then just lay that down. And line it up where I want it. And that's where I want it. So then we'll just go ahead and do the bottom half. Let's see if I can get this up. Okay. So there we have it. And then we're going to stick that side down. And you want to pull this kind of taut, because what you want to happen is you want it to be able to spin. So now I've got it laid down on the bottom of the card. So now what we need to do is go ahead and peel off our tape on the top layer, or our tape backing. And then I'm going to pull this as taut as I can, because I want it to be able to spin. Okay, so I have it down. And I might have pulled it too tight. So I'm going to just see if I can pull this up just a little bit. Or maybe I'll pull it from this side, because I got it just a little bit too tight, so the card is buckling. And bear with me, because this is the first time I've done this card, So we're going to see if we can get this up, and I'm going to have to realize that I can't pull it too tight because I'm going to bend the card. Okay, so I'm going to pull the string once again. And then the one thing about this illusion cord is it's hard to see the cord. Okay, so now let's go ahead and remove the tape from that top layer. And it looks like my sticky back stuck to the other side. Okay, so now I think I have it. And there. It's now spinning. And what you can do is, before you close up your card, you just twirl it a little bit, and then when it opens, it spins like so. Oh, sorry, I don't think you were able to see that because I had the card standing straight up. So let me do that again. So it spins like so. Okay, so now let me go ahead and tape the rest of my card down. And I'm going to pull out my ATG for that. And we're going to get some tape on the edges and then all the way around and down here on the bottom. And then press down. So now we have our tape all the way around on our edges. And I'm going to wait before I cut that string because I want to make sure that I have everything the way I want it first. And I can see that it's just a little bit off-centered. So I'm just going to pull the string. And then what you want to do is you want to make sure that this is adhered really good down at the bottom because you're going to end up cutting any excess that you have left over. And you don't want that to pop loose and then your card won't spin. So it looks like I've got it down pretty good on both sides so that my tape won't lift up and the string won't come out. So now let's go ahead and finish up making the easel part of the card. So now what I've done is I'm going to go ahead and open up my card, and I want to go ahead and fill in or do the back of the card for the easel part. So I have a piece of cardstock that measures 5 inches by 5.5 inches, and then what you're going to do is score it at 5 inches right here, because what's going to happen is you're going to take the bottom edge of this and line it up on the back of here like so. And then you're just going to go ahead and tape that down. And that will help you to make your easel. But before I go ahead and do that, I want to go ahead and put my inside pieces in. So let me get those. Okay, for my inside piece, I've cut a piece of cardstock. And this cardstock measures 4.5 by 4.5. And I've once again went ahead and inked my edges very lightly with the Gathered Twigs ink. And I'm going to go ahead and line this up. And this cardstock is from the Recollections Love Letters. And it looks like this. And I used this cardstock to make the explosion box for my husband's anniversary present. So it has some really nice papers in here. It looked like this. So that's what I'm using for this piece right here. So let's go ahead and tape this down. And there's some little faint writing on here, so I want to make sure I have it going the right way. And I guess it probably really doesn't matter. So let's go ahead and use the ATG gun for this. And we'll go ahead and get tape around all of our edges. And then we'll put some tape in the middle. And then I'm going to go ahead and line this up. And lay this down. Okay, so now I'm ready to go ahead and add my easel piece to the card. And as I said before, what you're going to do is you're going to take your 5.5 by 5 inch piece of cardstock. You're going to score it at 5. And then you're just going to go ahead and take this and line it up with the edge. And then tape it down. So let's go ahead and get some tape on that edge. Like so. And we just want to make sure that we get this on here properly so that it adheres and sticks. So I'm going to line this up because you're trying to take your edge and match it up with that score line. And I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and cut some of this illusion cord so it doesn't get in my way until I'm ready to actually cut it completely off. So I'm lining up the edge of my card with the score, the 5-inch score mark, or the 5-inch score mark, and then I'm just going to fold it over edge to edge and then tape it down. So now you actually have your easel. So now what we need to do is we need to put a stoppage here because as you can see it is stopping right now. And let me see if I can set up the camera so you can see this. Everybody, so what I've done is so that you can see the actual card as it sits up like an easel card. I've adjusted my camera. So now what we want to go ahead and do is we've already got the easel part set up, but we want to go ahead and put the stoppage so that the card will stop at a certain point. Now, we could leave it like this and it looks like it's staying, but I just want to have that extra added touch to it so that I know that for sure that it'll stay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to measure out where I want the card to stop. And then I'm going to take and lay out my pieces so that I have them all set up so that I know for sure that the card will stop exactly where I want it. So I'm going to just take a pencil and lightly mark where I want the card to stop at over on the right here. And that's where I'm going to go ahead and lay my piece to have it stop. So now this first piece measures 1.5 by 4.5, and I've gone ahead and popped it up on some foam tape. So I'm going to take the backing off the, well actually before I take the backing off I want to go ahead and lay all of my 3 layers out. So my next layer measures 1.25 by 4.25, and I've gone ahead and inked the edges again. And I'm just going to go ahead and take the foam tape backing off of this piece. And then we'll lay that on top of the bottom piece that I have here. So we're just going to line this up and lay it out like so and have that piece. And then for my top piece, I've gone ahead and I've used my Cricut and my Cricut pens, which look like this. And I do have a video out there on how to use the Cricut pens. And I've written out the word happy anniversary using the Gypsy. And that happy anniversary is from, let's see which cartridge that is. That's from the Sweethearts cartridge as well. And let's see what page that's on. It's cut at 1 inch. And I'll put the page number up in the video. And the actual key number. I didn't write that one down. But I'll go ahead and put that up in the video up here. Oops. Up here somewhere. I got to get used to my camera being at a different angle. So let's go ahead and add the happy anniversary. And I've also went ahead and put some foam tape on the back of that. And as I said, or if I didn't say, it's 1 1/8 by 2 7/8. So we're just going to go ahead and lay this in the middle. So now I have my 3 layers that look like this. And then I'm going to finally take the tape backing off the back of the bottom piece. And then we're going to line that up and put it where I have that pencil mark. As soon as I can get the tape off. Okay. So I think it's safe that I can go ahead and cut my illusion cord. So we're just going to go ahead and put this down. And I'm sorry if my hand is in the way, but it's the way I have the camera angled. So I'm going to just line that up and lay it down right there. And I'm just going to bend this a little bit. Okay. So now I have the stoppage. So actually now the only other thing that I have left to do is, because this is our 4th anniversary, I wanted to go ahead and put a 4 right here in the corner. So what I'm going to do is, what I did, I cut this 4 out, and this 4 is from the Art Philosophy cartridge that's the close to my heart. And I used the same cartridge when I made the explosion box. And this was cut at 1 3/4 inches. And I'm going to go ahead and take my glue gun and get some glue on the back of here, because what I've done is I cut out 4 of the number 4, and then I went ahead and put them all together, and then I took some embossing ink and some of the thick embossing powder, and I did 3 layers of the embossing powder to make it thick and hard. And I'm just going to go ahead and plop it in right there, like so. And I've used the glue gun because I wanted to go ahead and make it also pop up a little bit. So we just have to get those little glue hairs out the way. And then it sits like so. So now I'm going to go ahead and cut the top of the illusion cord off the top. Of my card. And then we'll go ahead and twirl it. And then watch it spin. So that's it. That's my anniversary card for my husband. And it looks like this. And I'm just going to tip this up a little bit so you can see the happy anniversary as well. So this was my first time trying something like this. And I really liked the way it came out. Thanks for watching, everybody. Happy anniversary, honey. Bye.